Agud v'chra boisai. Yilu nishmas imi mirosirus bas Mordechai. Welcome to all the guests, all the guys that made it out here, all the way from Boca, all the way from North Miami Beach, from Hollywood, Aventura, coming from Muncie,
Surfside,
Muncie. My Haber from Passaic. So I met. What's your name again? Remind me your name. Moishi. Don't worry, nobody's going to talk to you about this. You might get a few nasty texts, like, what are you doing Daf Yomi for? You know, only, but we had a schmooze, and he told me he's going to come. He's going to try it out. So, Baruch Hashem, here he is. First of all, I want to say Yeshukayach to David Nissel for sponsoring the pizza, even though he's not here. Sponsor pizza. It's a tremendous. I haven't said this in a while, but if you look around, just look around the room. Achtos. We have Hasidim, we have Misnagdim, we have Yeshivishes, we have Modernishes, we have Sfardim, Ashkenazim. So, Yishkoyach for coming out and a show of Achtos. You know what? I have an idea. Not you. You guys could do Achenu for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, let's, but nice.
Not backwards.
Not the Sfardim, not the Sfardim. You guys could. We'll try it out. Yahrtzeit, Kol Beis Yisrael. Yahrtzeit, Kol Beis Yisrael. Anisuni batzara, v'shivya, oimdim bein bayam ubein bayam. Hamokai mirachem aleim yaitziei mitzora levacha me'afen aleyoira u'mishibot geula ashta bagala. The bridge version, because we have to learn Torah, and we started a little late. So tonight is my final shir here. Tomorrow morning I'm going to give a shir to the YouTube chevra, so we don't miss a shir tomorrow morning at like 9:30 at my house, and then I catch a flight, 1:00 flight. So thank you for having me here. Thank you for hosting. Thank you to the Saka family for letting us use the Beis Medrash, and Michael and all the people behind the scenes and everybody that helped out. So Yeshua, hope to see you in Eretz Yisrael soon.
Amen.
Just too quick. We have here a picture of Michael Chessel's MDY family Harley. And interesting email from Nachum Horowitz. He says that he was taking a hike and he saw this palm tree, and it reminded him of the Gemara of Avracha. As soon as he saw it, he saw Avracha, and then he called up. I forgot who it was that he called. It's in the email, but it's a very long email. It amazes me how much the daf is integrated into my daily living, even on vacation. I was hiking with my Rebbitzin through a canyon near Palm Springs and came across the following oasis. Avracha means you take the tree and you put it back. Basically, so we drew then. I didn't have Yoshi, so I found a picture of a knee. It's a lashon of a knee. And then he goes on to say the picture of the front of the Nobel Prize winning poet Shmuel Yosef Agnon wearing a large yarmulke and a picture of Yerushalayim on the back. Agnon was asked not to wear the yarmulke of the picture, and he absolutely refused. You got my voice? No, I didn't get it yet. Be'ez Hashem, I listened to it on the plane. They related her printed with the yarmulke as he was a significant figure in the country's history and a source of pride, and made a huge Kiddush Hashem. When the country changed to Israeli, the new shekel, and printed the new series, see the yarmulke wearing Agnon was replaced by the, okay, whatever. The bottom line is, Nachum Horowitz Yishkoyach, all the way from Baltimore. So it's Motzei Shabbos, and I want to go through, especially that we have my friend here from Passaic. So when people ask you about the shir and like, why are you doing Daf Yomi? You say, listen, I learned 20 new musagim I didn't know about in one night. So here are some of them. Some of them you'll be very familiar with, but it's a good chazar anyway. So Nichsim Belug, these are things that we learned in the last week. Nichsim Belug is property that a woman brings into a marriage, and the husband gets to, let's say she brings in a nursing home. So the husband gets to use the nursing home, he gets all the income, and if they get divorced or he dies, she gets it back as is. So even if the price dropped, she gets it back. Versus nichsetzim barzel, it's locked in like metal, like a metal sheep. The price is locked in, and if it goes down in value, the husband has to replace the value. We learned about king and peiros, king and haguf. You guys remember that one? Great. So it's a whole sugya. If the husband, wherever it is, if a son, let's say, has the privilege of using the, let's say a father is dying. Oh, there's more pizza. Shkoyach. Shkoyach for the tray. Sadik, this guy. It's Bacher, he learns the daf every day, keeps on going. So let's say a father, before he dies, wants to give his son income. But he knows that if he gives him everything, gives him the entire nursing home, he might throw him out into the street. Like we had Maisa Shahayas, unfortunately. So what he says is, listen, I'll give you all the income, or the opposite. I'll give you the guf, I'll give you the entire nursing home, I get to keep the income so I have something to live on. So we had a whole discussion, who's the real owner? The one that owns the property, the real estate, and he has the documents to prove it, or the one that actually benefits from the property, gets the income from the property, the whole sugya. A poitiki is a poite akai. If a person says, when I pay you, I want to pay you dafka from this field. So there's certain halachas that are negeya. Now this field, this is it. You can't play shtick with that field. Eid nasadayin. What if a dayan, a Talmud Chacham, sees a story? He sees somebody smacking somebody in the face. A Ma'aseh Shahaya, the Gemara says, he saw him hitting somebody. He says, okay, you owe X amount of money. Now, could he be a dayan because he witnessed that he's biased? He's a witness and a dayan at the same time. Shar Tam, this is just old Chazar from the beginning of the Masechta, but we had it in this week, that the difference between a Tam and a Muad, not only, obviously, a Tam only gored or did whatever he did for less than 3 times, but you only get the amount that the actual animal is worth. So if the animal is worth $1,000 and he destroyed a Lamborghini, or they have these cars here that I've never seen, obviously in Eretz Yisrael, they don't really, they say they have every car in Eretz Yisrael, but over here I see like in one day, these 4 SUV Rolls Royces, they cost like $400,000, 4 of them, just different colors. So if this $1,000 bull destroys this Rolls Royce, didn't like the color red, destroys it, all the owner gets is $1,000. Shar tam migufay. Zen enev zelichaser. We spoke about it, if somebody has a property, people don't like this halacha so much, but if somebody owns a property and somebody squats in his property and the property is not up for rent, the owner cannot charge the rent. He says, Zen enev zelichaser. I sat there, I lived there, what do you care? Uman koine b'shevachli. Oh, this is a new one and one that we should try to remember. That is, if a person is commissioned to fashion furniture, jewelry, whatever it is, he's building a table for somebody with that person's, let's say, wood. People that do that, they say, here, take wood, like I want to do with the epoxy table for the base measures. Take this beautiful wood. I got a nice walnut piece here. Now, just you add all the epoxy and everything. So the guy works on it, and he adds the epoxy, and it takes a day just to dry, and then all this stuff. Does his work make him a partial owner of that product? Nafkamina, if he destroys it, now he destroyed his own kli because he's really a partner here. Okay. Yeshna l'schirus metchila v'atzoif. That was also an interesting one. We had it before, but it's very important. Yisoid Shas, and that is when a person works on this table, this carpenter is working. Is he owed money every pruta and pruta that he works? He works for an hour. Now the guy that gave him the wood to work on it, that the owner of the wood owes him now. He owes him $10. He works another hour, owes him another $10. It's an afkamino. You can't be mekadesh a woman with that. Why? So if the woman is the one that owns the wood and she owes him all this money, and then he says, you know what, I'm moichel you all this money, can't be mekadesh a woman. Why? Mekadesh b'milva doesn't work. So here's just if you want to see on the screen again, I'll do it again. Yeshna l'schir mitchilat soif means every time he bangs a nail in or whatever it is, the person owes him a quarter, and it becomes a halva, turns into a loan, and all the way at the end, the person owes him all that money. Or you could say Yeshna l'schir mitchilat, or ein l'schir soif means he works, and at the end, he owes him 125. I just remembered the Chavetz Chaim, the famous Chavetz Chaim. He says when we say in a siyum, we say Onurotzim shehem amelim be'enu mekalim sachar. What does it mean? He says that a person, this case, if a person works for a week on a table, it happens to these guys. Yeah, they work, and then there's a big crack down the middle. How much does he get paid? 0. But if we learn Torah, and let's say we don't remember it, we don't know what Yeshna l'schir in a week from now, someone asks, what's the Yeshna l'schir? I don't know. I don't remember anymore. It was Daf Yomi. We get schar. Azoy is. We get schar on trying and coming out on Motzei Shabbos, not hanging out with the kids and the wife and going to restaurants now. There's something to it, right? Oh no, we get schar because of the amelos, because we tried. This is it's not a musig in Shas. I didn't put it down as a musig, but it's something to remember. Lisolin pulat sacher, that we have a chiyuv to pay a worker that day. Depends on when he finishes work, until the morning or until the night. But you don't go. It's issa deraisa not to pay on time. Rabbi said, does anybody know what hagrama is? Hagrama.
Causation, like delayed causation.
No, I was hoping nobody would say that. That is grama, and that's thank you. Oh, now I can go back to our stroll. What's hagrama? Rabbi say hagrama. The windpipe. You hear this? You didn't know that. You just came for that as kedai. Hagrama means that if you have, in order for shechita to be kosher, the knife has to go into one ring. If it misses, it goes into a second ring in the trachea, it's treif. And here we even have, I added, this is a new thing, a new chiddush, I haven't done this the whole year. I added the what Yoshi did for this, just to show, Michael, if you're going to be on your phone, you're not going to know what agrum is.
I'm with Mark.
I don't care you with. I need you to know what agrum is. Take a look what agrum is. Don't tell me agrum is grum and garmi. This is agrama. These are the rings of the trachea. Remember, I had that air conditioning pipe from R Yisroel, the white pipe.
That was really cool.
Here, take a look. If the knife has to go through one, but if the knife goes through even 51%, right? We said a shechita is kosher even if you only do roiv. You do 51%, but Chachamim say that if you do 51% and then the 52nd% you go into the next ring, treif, chazer, it's nevela. That's agrama. All right, next. Okay, so I'm going to take that off for a second. I'm going to read the sponsors. So that's it for today. The koilel for the month is not sponsored by anybody. The Masechta for the unity of Am Yisrael, Achdus. Paras HaChodesh Lin Zechai B'Moshe Lin Zechai Bas Yosef. Paras HaChodesh Ahron Fraiman. It should be zechus to rebel if you continue siyadta dishmaya and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Paras HaYom Joel Ezoory for my wife Leora Tova Bat Rachamim Alei Shalom. Second yahrtzeit, and as a zechus for our kids. Wow. Shalom should have an aliyah. Parnas hayoim, Dr. Marc Berkson for my father, Jerry Berkson, so he may have a complete refua. Amen. The art of the month, sponsored, anonymous for zechus for an easy childbirth for his daughter and a healthy baby. Right now, as we speak, is the continuation of Yisrael Shalitsky's chasana. Started on Friday. There's a chup on Friday. I want to remind the Olam that Rabbi Center from Center's Yeshiva and Rabbi Zev Cohen from Chicago, famous Rav in Chicago, they made an initiative to learn all of Torah tomorrow on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. So if anybody wants to grab a daf, go to onesiyum.com. They're really counting on MDY to help them out and finish the Shas. They have a lot of people doing Tanakh and Mishnayos, but the Shas part, they're hoping that MDY, that some of our listeners will take a daf upon themselves. onesiyum.com. Rabbi Yisai, we are holding on Daf Kuf Aleph, Amud Aleph. Kuf Aleph means that we did 100 daf in Baba Kama, 100. It's amazing. Just 100 days ago, We had our Shabbaton with 750 people or more in New York. Some of you were there. Some of you weren't there. Stamford, Connecticut. And you were there? Wow. My memory toast. It was gewaldig, no?
Unbelievable.
Nah. Huh? Best, it was my best Shabbos, my favorite Shabbos. It was just so inspirational. Okay, Be'ezer Hashem. We'll do it again, Be'ezer Hashem. It was just an amazing thing.
Siyam's in less than 3 weeks.
The Siyam is like in 18 days from now. Siyam Bava Kama, there's only 18 days left, and then we start Bava Metzia, another very dishmaya. Everybody's familiar from Cheder, Shnai Moichze, Mamafke, Elam Metzias, you know. Okay, so let's get going here. By the way, I was running, it was Friday, so on the last words, the first words I should say, Naf Kuf Aleph, it says Kafra Dude, that the residue of the dye was on the bottom of the pot, and he tried to make a baguette out of it, and it's really bad. So there's a joke here that I want to tell the Oila. I'll just say it tonight. Why not? This guy went to this cholent place, and he really, really liked the cholent. And he tried to get the recipe. Of course, they didn't give it to him, and so he hid. He hid there, and he watched them make the cholent. And he went home, and he imitated the thing and garnished. So he goes to him, and he says, listen, look how desperate I hid here. I took a video. I have the whole thing. How come my cholent doesn't come out like yours? So the guy says, let me see you make the cholent. So the guy, he puts in all the ingredients. He says, Chacham. Of course it's not going to taste the same. You wash the pot, Chacham. You're supposed to use Kafir Dude. That's the Kafir Dude. Tanur Rabbanan. So holy mamish, brand new sugya. If it's your very first time today, it's brand new. It's the new Masechta, new parak right now. Tanur Rabbanan. A person gives wood to the carpenter to make a chair. He's one of these Israeli guys. You don't need a chair. What you need is a good bench. Decide on Safsel. The guy comes and commissions a bench, and he says, "No, I think you should get a chair." So he's a ganav. He's basically, this is a gneva kind of thing. Whatever. In terms of halacha, it's stealing. And he's kainet. The carpenter acquires the wood because he didn't listen to what he was told, and he has to pay for wood. We're very familiar with this halacha from yesterday and the day before. So it's basically the Mishnah on Amud Beis. This idea that the owner of the wood, he decides, he pays the lesser of the two. Depends on what it is. What's less? No, he gets the bench. But it depends. He has to pay either the shevach, what he improved, improvement. A piece of wood costs $100. A bench costs $200. He has to pay $100. So if the amount of work that this carpenter put into it, the nails, the glue, the what are they called? They sand it down, so sandpaper. There's some work. Some are trying to want to prove from here that it also includes the minimum wage of a person, not so much the professional wage of a carpenter, but the minimum wage. There's an expense here. So whatever is less. You want to pay him the expense, pay him the expense. If that's what's less money. If it's $50, you give him the 50. If the shevach is less, let's say the expenses were $200 and the shevach, the improvement was 100, give him 100. This is very similar to the case that we had in the Mishnah. A person gives his beged to a dyer, and the dyer does a very weak job. That's what the kafir dude is. I should have just left it for here. Kafir dude means, what does a weak job mean? He didn't use like real dye. He used the dye from the bottom of the pot. So over here also, he gives him wood. He thought that he's a great carpenter. Last time kisei no, to make a nice chair, mechubetik chair. V'asam kisei kaor. Over here it uses the word mechur kaor with the ayin. In the Mishnah was with the aleph, but that's what Rashi told us in the Mishnah already. It's the same word. He made a disgusting chair. Safsel no, v'asa safsel kaor. A nice bench, but it wasn't a because at the end of the day he's not a ganav over here in this case. Not a ganav. He tried his hardest. He's not very good at carpentry. So he made a weak chair. So now he doesn't because he messed up and he didn't do it as nice as he wanted, he's not koinet, b'shinoi, b'gneva. So he gives it back, and the guy, because it's not a nice chair, he pays either the improvement or the cost that it cost him to whatever it costs to improve the product. So there's two things. There's the improvement. The actual bench now is worth X amount of money on the market. And there's also the amount of money it cost him, his expenses. Expenses, that's the word. Iboilu. Now it's brand new sugya also. Brand new. Very interesting question here. And the Gemara is going to go down and drill down what is the question exactly. Over here we have a question. You see the suit. This used to be white wool. Now it's blue. What is the blue? The Gemara wants to know what is it? You can't feel it. You can't scrape it off. So what is it? It has no mamashas. It's like almost like a ruchnisdika thing. So if somebody steals dye, does he have to pay back the dye? I mean, where is the dye? So the Gemara is going to say, well, wait a minute. You stole a certain amount. Give that amount back. And the Gemara is going to explain what the question is. But the idea of the question is, color is just something your eye sees. It's not a physical thing. So this dye that's in my suit is just a color. So when I stole a color from somebody, if it's on a computer screen and I put it on my computer, obviously I don't have to pay for it, right? So now it was a physical color, and that color went into my suit. So what am I paying? So that's not exactly, you're looking at me like that's not a great question. And the Gemara is going to say, okay, what do we mean exactly? Yes, shevach samonim ala tzemer. Could we view the dye that dyes clothing as an improvement in the wool, and therefore, if somebody takes it, he has to pay it back? Or you don't have to pay for it. Well, what's going on here? A guy stole whatever these plants, and he goes and he grinds it down and he cooks it up, and then he dyes wool with it. Then of course he's a ganav, and he has to pay for it. Why? Or he doesn't return that exactly, but tepuk lei mishum dekaninu b'shinoi. Didn't he just do a shinoi like any ganav does? A real shinoi in the chayfetz. The Gemara's question is maybe, and we're going to keep on going until we get to the bottom of it. But on the way, we're going to learn a bunch of halachas, as usual. So what happened was he stole ready-made dye. He didn't take the plant. He didn't have to grind it and cook it, because that would be a real shinoi, and the ganav is kind of b'shinoi. But he stole ready-made dye. B'tzavabu. Mai. So here's a havamina. It's not. Don't get too excited on the Gemara over here. Yes, shevach samona gavi tzemer do omar le havli samoni d'shaklitinu. Give me back this dye that you stole from me. Oy dilma ain't shevach samona gavi tzemer. Maybe the guy took something, but where is it? You can't take it. You can't feel it. You can't see it. You can't scrape it off the suit. So he doesn't have to give it back. Ask the Gemara immediately before you get nervous here. Amri, okay, so let's say there's no improvement. Color is not an improvement. It's not something physical. Could he say such a thing? At the end of the day, I had a liter of dye in this bottle. Now it's a half a liter. So fill up, give me back a half a liter. What are you giving me? You tell me all this shtick that it's not physical. You can't scrape it off the suit. I don't care. Fill up my bottle of dye the way it was before. That's all I'm asking for. Ella, so the Gemara says you're right. Lachki, so let's flip it around a little bit. Ain't shevach samonim agav atzemer boy shalom. The opposite. What we just said is a reason. Since I can't take it out of the beged, I can't scrape it out. It's in there somewhere, but it's not physical, so therefore pay for it. The opposite. Now the Gemara is saying, not that you shouldn't have to pay for it. Since I can't grab it back, so at least pay me cash for what you did. But here's the other tzad. Maybe It's there. The color is there on your suit. Here's the suit. You figure out how to get it back. You hear the shaila. On the one hand, you're a ganav. You took it. There's no way for you to return it. It's embedded in my clothing, and therefore you have to pay cash. Or no, I'm going to say, look, you want your dye back? Here it is. It's in my suit. Take my suit for a day and figure out how to get the dye back. It's your problem, not my problem. So the Gemara also doesn't like that. Shaklinu, but my shakli. What do you mean take it back? How in the world is he going to take the dye out of his suit? But Safine, he's going to use soap. He's going to use a chemical. He's going to bleach it. So Safine Abur Ma'aber, the bleach, the soap, could remove the dye. But Hashavali of it can't put it back in the bottle the way it was before. It might take it out of the clothing, but it's not going to give it back to the guy. So at the end of the day, what is your question exactly? At the end of the day, I don't care if color is not a physical thing, but you stole a physical thing from me in order to make your non-physical color, so return it. Ella. What he did is he stole from one person. He stole the wool and he stole the dye. It was owned by one individual. And Vitzabe, and he dyed that white wool and he made it blue. He says, you know what? I stole it now. I'm giving it all back to you. Your dye and your wool, it's all together. It's one piece now. So I want to know, do you consider this dye, this color, as an improvement and it's in the clothing and he gave it back? Or perhaps, no, since the dye is no longer a physical thing anymore, it used to be a liquid, now it's embedded in the clothing. You gave back the wool. So now you're a ganav on the wool, on the dye, and we have a problem. That's the Gemara's question. Amri. By the way, again, I'm not a Baki in Shas. Just the word Amri seems like it's used very often in this Masechta. Very. Amri. Tebuklei, the yakrlei, nahale bidmei. But at the end of the day, I gave you back a piece of wool. Before it was white, now it's beautiful blue. So I actually improved. I gave you an improvement. So why do I have to give you back money for the dye? I gave you something nice back. I took a piece of wool that's worth $10. That's worth $20. So be happy. I paid you back. Says the Gemara. So I'm asking you a question. It's a theoretical question. Don't give me excuses. Oh, he gave back something that's worth more. No, I'm talking about in a situation where it's not worth more. I want to know, is a color which is not physical, is that considered something that gave back or not? You don't tell me, oh, you improved it. It went from $10 to $20. I'm talking about in a situation where it went down in value. How? Because there's so much blue fabric on the market now. Nobody wants to see blue fabric. And you made another blue fabric, so you know what? You ruined it. Now nobody's going to touch it for another 25 years. I don't know what. Zoltzive. This is incredible, this Gemara. I was really hoping that Yoshi would do a really nice one on this. He let me down a little after time. I don't know what happened exactly, but okay. I had this picture in my mind of this Meshugana monkey, like a monkey that looked like a zebra. Okay, but Yoshi didn't do it. This is what Yoshi did. Basically, he took some blue paint and painted, I guess it was a white monkey and painted in blue, but okay, I don't know. I thought it would be going to be like, wow.
It was a zebra, confuse him with the robber.
Maybe, exactly. I left him a message. I want a zebra monkey, and he made the robber a zebra. Okay, no, that was his classic zebra, the whole Masechta. In case you don't understand, we have two full-time artists. One is a frum guy called Yoshi. One of them is a non-Jew from South Africa. He does our 3D art. So the frum guy is a Talmid Chacham. He knows how to learn everything, and he does the daf. And we go back and forth all day. I said, listen, it was Erev Shabbos. He was already not 100% there. You know, like he has to get ready for Shabbos, and I'm driving crazy about art for months of Shabbos. So, and he lives in Eretz Yisrael. So I told him, listen, this kaifa, we got to do something cool. Anyway, that's what came out. There's another one that's even better, I think, the next one. What happened was, says the Gemara, that you stole a monkey and a jar of paint from one individual. He owned both. and you decide to do him a big favor and paint his monkey blue. That's what he decides. It's just an interesting Gemara. Rashi says another pshat that it really means kupa. It means a box. But it fits better with the next Gemara that is actually talking about a monkey. Fine. So Kaifa, other Rishonim say no, it means that. Fine. So now you give it back, Yishkoyach, but he has zero value. You're asking me, by you painting the clothing, you increased value, and now he should owe you money. You're such a tzaddik. You did him a favor. Says Gemara, you didn't do him a favor. You took his paint and you ruined it. You did nothing with it. You painted a monkey. Basically, you painted the floor. You painted the ceiling with blue. You didn't do him a favor. That's what it means, monkey. Monkey means you didn't do it. And now that I return him the monkey, here I give him back the monkey. Here's a blue monkey. The question is, hello, you're visualizing this, huh? The shaila is, did I give him back? Everything is blue, and it even says MDY on the container. Let's see if I could. I can't. It does work. Okay. I don't know how to get back, but maybe Mark will. Oh, back to normal. Okay. Maybe not. Fine. So here what's going on here. Again, it's just come to answer the question that if I steal dye from somebody and I dye his white wool, shouldn't he owe me money for that, or at least be happy I did it and I shouldn't owe him any money? No, what happened was he dyed a monkey. So he's not happy that I took his dye and I dyed something that he didn't need dyed. And Mela, it's a loss for him. There's, since it's Motzei Shabbos and we're talking about a monkey, so say a story about a parrot. The parrots. Every story starts with the parrots. I haven't said parrot story in a very long time. There's a Jew that was very close to the parrots, and the parrots would say, "No, how's it going? Your business?" And the parrots would say, and the Jew would tell him, "Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem." And how's this? Baruch Hashem. So the parrot said, I got to teach this guy a lesson. Baruch Hashem. I'm the one that supports him. I send all my guys to support him. He's saying Baruch Hashem. He said, "That's it. I'm not going to. I'm not gonna help him out anymore. I'm not shopping in his store. I'm telling everybody in the city not to shop at him." Fine. The parrots, he had a monkey. And the monkey noticed that he took a gold coin. The parrot wanted to see if it's gold. So what does every mumcha in gold do? They bite it. He bit the gold coin. He walks out of the room and the monkey says, "Oh, it's chocolate." So he takes the coin and he eats it. He takes another coin. He starts downing all these golden coins. After 10 minutes, there's a levaya for the monkey. The monkey's dead. So the parrot is very, very, very tzibrochen that his monkey died. He says, "You know what? At least let me do one last good deed with this monkey." He takes the monkey and he drives by the Jew's house and he throws the monkey through the Jew's window. The Jew comes out, he sees a broken window and he sees a monkey there. He's, wow, mamash anti-Semitism. And he picks up the monkey and all of a sudden a coin falls out of the monkey's mouth. Shakes it up and more. So he splits the monkey open and there's a bunch of golden coins. He became a big usher. So, what? He did a gram on the monkey. No, that's no. That's nechira. Nechira. Anybody know what nechira is? It's when you cut. We had it even in this masech. I don't want to show myself, but when you cut from the chin down to the belly, that's not a good shchita. But it goes right down the corner of the It's called nechira. Anyway, he did a nechira, pulled out of that, and then the parrots comes to visit him, to see how he's not doing well. And he sees the guy sitting there, and he's through the Shabbos, and he has waiters. What's going on? And he says, "You're not going to believe it. Some anti-Semite threw a monkey with golden hair." And the parrot says, "Altzis from the Rebbeinu Shalom." Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Ravina Amar Chomais going to Tzemer Dechad Samon Dechad. Says Ravina, another story happened over here. The wool was owned by one guy, and the dye is owned by another person. Because koif, this has to be a monkey. Because comes a random monkey, not owned by anybody, and does this. Here we go. He paints the wool with the dye. So now I have a problem. We have dye from one person, wool from another person. We're not even talking about gneva now. We're talking about a situation where somebody's dye is in the wool. And that's the question here. Do we say that the dye is different? It's another piece. It's an addition to the wool. When he goes to the owner of the wool, he says, "Give me back my red." Or colors nothing, and he says, "The owner of the wool says, "Sorry, it's just color, and color has no mamashos, and therefore I don't owe you anything." Toshma. Says the Gemara, "Beged shetzvoi beklipi arlo yidalek." So this is arlo, Rabbi Yisai. The first 3 years of a tree, the fruit are asur bahana. The 4th year is neter revai. It's similar to what? Very good. Who said Meiser Sheni? Very good. Similar to Meiser Sheni. Meiser Sheni. What do we do on Meiser Sheni? We take 10% and give yourself. You bring it to Yerushalayim, you eat the food in Yerushalayim, you eat the fruit, and if not, you transfer it to cash, and you take the cash, and you buy anything you want in Yerushalayim. And what can't we buy in Yerushalayim? Fish and
No herring.
no herring. And no water. This would be aser. But the Ramban says, what is the reason of Arla? Like giving a tam in the pasuk. He says, besides that, it's dangerous to eat the fruit in the first year. He says that the fact is that we should give the Rebbeinu Shalom our first fruit, like Bikurim. This week's parasha, Bikurim. You should give, Hashem gave you fruit. First thing is, you give back to Hashem. Just what? They're so small and not so edible. It's not nice to give Hashem. So we say, we're not going to, so if I can't give Hashem, I don't give myself. First 3 years, no one. On the 4th year, that's when you give neter revai, you give to Hashem, you go up to Yerushalayim, Meiser Sheni. Ramban. So, beged shetzvoi beklipe arla yidalik. So, arla, if you look over here, it says asur bahana. You're not allowed to benefit from it. He went, and with the arla, he painted, he dyed his clothing. Yidalik, you have to burn it. So what do you see? Almo chazusa milsehi. It's a Givaldik Atayna. It's a great raya, no? All he did is he put color into his suit. His suit went from a white piece of wool to blue. And nevertheless, he has to burn his suit. Why? It only has color, and color is nothing. It's not a physical thing, you said. So what do you see from here? Color is physical. If it wasn't physical, why would I have to burn it? Says the Gemara, you see that it's something. The fact is that the Torah says a special halacha when it comes to arla, that just by looking at it is aser. The Sanya, not this one. Do I have the pasuk here? Let me find it before I make you guys mishuga. Here. Okay. Back in Eretz Yisrael, I have a different system. Because we have the guys in the booth and they do all this stuff. But on my screen, I have all the charts. So if I mess up putting the charts in order, I just click and it goes to that chart. Over here, because of the way we're doing it now, I'm the one in charge really of switching and going back and forth. I don't have a guy doing it for me. So I don't have that. So that's why now I have to go back 3 charts. But okay. So look at this pausing for a second. You know what? Wrong pasuk here. No, this is. I have to look for the Arlo one. Hold on a second. This is Shemitah. Let's see if I even have it here. Oh, it's all the way here. Okay, I do have it. Okay, here it is. 2 times it says Arlo over here. The 3 times it says Varaltam or Losei Arelim Lo Yachal. So it says the Gemara Arelim Lo Yachal Lein Le'elo Yisra Achila. It says then the pasuk Lo Yachal. The Isser of Arla, the first 3 years of the fruit, you can't eat it. Minayin Shelo Yanim Imenu. You shouldn't have any anah from it. V'lo Yizba Boy. Here, that's our sugya. You shouldn't die with it. You shouldn't light a candle with it. Let's say you have olives, you can't use it as fuel. It says 3 times arla. This just these 3 things. The rabbi says kulam. So says Rava, don't bring me a raya from arla that if you use dye to dye a suit, they have to burn it, and it's a proof that it's physical. No, it's not proof. There's a mefurish word in the Torah that says that you have to burn something like that because it says arla 3 times. Tashma beged shetzvoi beklipe shviyis yidalek. So shmita, different halacha, not arla, shmita. You're not allowed to benefit from the parish shmita after the time of beer. So you used dye shmita from the fruit, and it says you have to burn it. So once again, if it's not a physical thing, why do I have to burn it? It's just color. So you see, it's physical. Shani hazan no makra tia bahava yasa tia. So here's the pasuk: Yovel hi kodesh tia lochem. It should say Yovel hi kodesh lochem. What's tia lochem? Bahava yasa tia. The way as is, with whatever it is, the dye you have to get rid of. Daf Kuf Aleph Amud Beis, sponsored by Greg Haber for the success and safe return of our chayalim and hostages for the zechut for Klal Yisroel. Rava asks a contradiction. Tanan, beged tzvoi beklipi arla yidalek. I just have to say, what's your name, Tzaddik? You, what's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Yonatan
Yonatan Shlomo Yechiel Abu.
Yeah.
You told me today that he was going to. He had a dilemma. Friday, should do bikur chayalim or learn Torah? Now I don't want to say this out loud, but nobody's listening. What? The what?
You should get up and go.
Should get up. So he said, I learned from you. That's what he said. He said, I learned that there's one mitzvah that you don't say, and that is the mitzvah, the greatest mitzvah there is, and Talmud Torah. In Talmud Torah, if there's a bigger chayalim, you go bigger chayalim. So you went to be Mivaka Chayla. He says, guy's not doing well at all. Went to be Mivaka Chayla, traveled an hour each way, whatever it was. He says, on the way, but he was listening to the shir. He was yahrtzeit. And in the shir, it says that Bikur Chaylim is not Gemilas Chesed. It's a step even above Gemilas Chesed. He says, a kiss from Hashem. As he's doing Bikur Chaylim, he's learned about Bikur Chaylim that,
Took away the 60th.
Because it takes away the 60th. Very good. So anyways, Rava asks a contradiction. Snan, beged shetzvoi beklipi arla yidalek. So this is very problematic because it says over here, we just had it on Amud Aleph, that a beged, that you dye with arla, you have to burn. And Rava says, almo chazusa milsihi. You see that the color is a physical thing. Time out. We just learned 5 seconds ago that arla is special because it's special pasuk. So what is Rava saying here? That's why they're not Geris Rava, the Geris Rava. Throughout the whole Shas, almost every time it says the name Rava or Rava, you'll see on the side, they switch it back this way, that way. It depends on the generation and who it was. It's very confusing. Somebody messed up, or not messed up. Somebody just thought it's Rava throughout the whole Shas or Rava. I don't know what happened over there. It's very confusing, those 2 names. But anyways, here's a good example of why. It can't be Rava. Rava already explained before that it says Aratim or Losay Arelim Lo Yachal. It says 3 times Arla. It's not Chazusa Milsa. It's not. You have no proof that it's a physical thing. Okay, but here he asks. You see, that's a physical thing. Virmini, but a contradiction. Revi is dam shenivlu babayis. Habayis tomei. V'amrilo habayis tahar. So just to remind the Olam. Here's Yossi Klein. Here's Tumas oil. Uh-oh. I might have gone too fast. I don't know what happened there. Oh, no. I'm leaving it. It's not working. Let's do it again. It's a bug. Oh, it's working. Based on Levias, he goes into a funeral plate. He becomes red. You saw that? Why did he become red? Because there's a dead person in the room. The entire room becomes tamei. Now, not only that, there's certain things like what if the head of a dead person is in the room? What if roiv this? There's certain things that create tumas soil. One of them is a revius of blood. A cup of blood that's a revius is how much is a revius? 6 ounces, whatever it is. Blood is mitame boil. So says the Gemara, revius dam shenivla babayis. If a quarter of lug, revius, was how do you say belua? Absorbed. Thank you. Absorbed in the house. Habayis tame. In other words, whatever is in the house becomes tame, ba'il. V'amri lo habayis tame tar, and we have a contradiction. On one hand it says tame, on the other it says tar. I once said over the story to somebody that there's a boy that wanted to donate blood, or Vias Dam, he wanted to donate blood to his brother. His brother was very sick, but he was only 17 years old. So he wanted to tell the people there, they said, you have to be 18. So he wanted to tell him he's 18 years old. So his father said, don't do it. You don't do a mitzvah by lying. So he didn't do it. Then this guy was in an accident. Not literally, he was in a car accident, and he lost a lot of blood. And the doctor said, wow, you're like this close to dying. And they said, oh, I want to donate. He says, oh, good thing you didn't donate blood yesterday. You'd have been done. So I told this to this yeshiva guy, and he's like, what a dumb story. There's no 18 in Torah. It's a 13. So, fakert. He got into an accident because he didn't donate to the blood. He should have donated. That's why he got into that. You don't understand the story. Anyways, fine. So scratch the story. Never happened, according to that guy. Veloy pligi. So we have a machlokes. Is this revius dam, does it make everything in the house tamei or not? Veloy pligi haba kelim dahavu miikara. When the blood comes into the house, so now you have a revius blood. There's no question. Before it was absorbed in the house, you had a cup of blood. Everything in the house becomes, or that room, I should say. The Gemara, in those days, the house was a room, 4 hours, and that's it. So everything in that room becomes tamei. But once it is absorbed in the ground, and then you bring a kli in, that it doesn't have the power to make tuma if it's absorbed in the ground. So that's the difference. Now, this is more important. This is for us. Nivla b'ksus. What if guy Nebuch, he's working, he's in Atzala, a lot of blood got into his clothing. So he has a revius dam of a dead person in his clothing, and he brings this clothing into house. He walks into his own house. Does everything become tamei? Royim imiskabeses haksus v'yoytzim imenu revius dam. If he squeezes out a revius dam from it, it's tamei. I'll explain to you how you do that. V'imlav tahira. If you can't squeeze out a revius dam from the clothing, it's tar. Now, the problem is, what's the problem? The problem is you see that even though you see the blood, it's red. That's not considered, it's not a physical thing. You have to literally squeeze out the blood, otherwise it's not considered a revius. No, it's not a kasha. Mekuli revius shanukan bedam tfusa de rabbana. We're talking about a Hatzala guy. Hatzala guy is working on a guy that's dying. He's in a car accident. It's spritzing blood everywhere. But the blood came out of the guy while he's alive. Blood that comes out of a person while he's alive is not matama. Then he dies. While he's working, he's pumping him, the whole thing. So now I don't know if is the revius dam from when he died or from before he died. It's dam tfusa. So only in the Rabbanan it's matama. So in Mela, if it's only time in the Rabbanan, if you see it on his clothing, it's nothing. You have to squeeze it out. But in Chanami, if a guy gets a real revius dam, this is gross stuff, I'm sorry, but if the guy gets revius dam from a dead person, and you see it, then in Chanami, that's mitama. That's what he's saying here. Now, first of all, how do you get blood out of clothing? So Rashi says something very interesting. You take, let's say, a liter of water, and you put it into the clothing, and you squeeze it out, and out comes a liter plus a revius. Oh, now you got a revius. As Tosfos, it doesn't make any sense. Just like the blood was absorbed in the clothing, so your liter of water is also going to get absorbed in the clothing. You're not going to be able to pull out your entire liter of water when you squeeze it out. So how do you know, says Taisus, that if it's, let's say I put a liter of water and I got a liter and a half of revius. Oh, he's tar. Why? Maybe he pulled out a full revius of blood and a half a liter of water because a half a liter stayed in the clothing. So says Taisus is a very interesting way to figure this out. He says, you squeeze the clothing out, and you put all the blood that's squeezed out into a liter of water. Let's say, a gallon of water. Here in America, gallon, not a liter. Gallon of water. And then you take another gallon of water, and you put in a real revius of blood into the gallon of water. And then you look at it, see how red is this compared to this. If it's just as red, then you know you took out a revius of blood out of the clothing. Okay, we should know from SARS, we shouldn't have to do this. But remember, in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, the time of Beis Hashem when Mashiach comes, people lived Tum and Tahara. You had to live like that. Everything was Tamei Tar. Can I touch this Truma? Can I touch this? You know, so you had to know this. There's a chef comes out of the restaurant. He looks at all the people there. And he says, listen, if anybody here could squeeze out one drop of lemon from this lemon, give him $100. So the guy with the big muscles, he takes the first, nothing, zero. Finally, this little dorky guy with a tie and this, he comes, suit, tie, he says, give it to me. 6 drops came out. He says, what's pshat? He says, I'm a lawyer for the IRS. Zag the Gemara. Rava Rami, another question. And then we're done for today. We're talking about Shemitah now. Oh, so we're talking about Shemitah. This is koitza, wod. Satim is safflower, something like that. Now, the satim, the guy on the right, you can use it for dyeing clothing. So, this is very important. The boys say here's a concept in Shas. It's called beer. Some of you are familiar with it, some not. Beer on Shemitah. What does beer on Shemitah mean? You have to destroy your fruit on Shemitah. When and how? So it goes like this. It says in the pasuk, Shemitah fruit you could eat. Then it says, there's a concept in Shemitah that when the animals, when the animals in the chaya stop eating a certain fruit, it's not there in the field anymore for them to eat, then you must get rid of it from your house. So if you have apples in your house, you could eat them the whole Shemitah up until a point of beer. When the animals, the birds, whatever they are not eating apples anymore, then you cannot eat the apples, you have to destroy them. So, the money that you made off of selling these apples, after the time of beer, you got to get rid of the money too. So says the Mishnah, these wood-looking plants, they don't look like food to me. There's shmita on it. Yeshlam beer, you have to destroy it. Beer, and you take the money, destroy it. If you you're not allowed to dye with it either. You can't eat it. You can't dye with it. I mean, dye clothing. So you see that even though it's like trees, not so much food, it still has kedusha on a tree. So ask Rava, contradiction. V'ramini ali konim. If a person has leaves from reeds, v'ali kfanim, or grape leaves, should give b'cheva. They stop making Baruch Hashem. You don't see it anymore. You used to go to Chasana and they'll make that terrible grape thing with the meat inside. You know what I'm talking about? Back in the day. Not anymore. Today, it's pastrami. Forget the grape leaf stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Wasn't even meat inside of it.
Oh, no, it wasn't meat. It was like just
rice.
Even the rice itself wasn't good. It got the flavor, and they thought it was a delicacy. Okay, great. If you still make it, stop it. When I was a caterer, the first thing I did was I stopped that. It was my first halacha. I was a caterer, you know that. if he gathered these leaves, this stuff, likton la'achila. Now, Baruch Hashem, this is Rashi, but before Rashi, it reminded me of a story. If he gathered these leaves for food, so I think I just said it recently, but I'll say it again because we have some new people here. This guy, this very wealthy person, in his Rolls Royce SUV, driving down the street, he sees a poor guy eating grass. He couldn't believe it, so he stops and he says, what's going on there? He says, I'm very poor. I'm starving. He says, I need to help you out. He says, come and let me take you to my house. So the guy says, I have a wife. I have 5 kids. He says, don't worry. There's plenty of room in this Rolls Royce. Bring them. So brings them. And on the way, the guy says, the poor guy says, it's so nice of you to take you. He says, it's my pleasure. Well, why wouldn't I want to take you? I have a lot of grass in front of my house. This. So that's what it says here. Likton la'achila. A guy is gathering grasses, and so says Baruch Hashem. Rashi says, no, it's not for himself. He did it for his animal. Likton la'achila means he gathered these leaves for his animal. Yesh b'hem mishum kedusha shvius. So even these leaves have kedusha shvius. La'etzim. But if you gathered it for wood, ain't bad mishum kedusha shvius. That's a kasha. A second ago you said wood has kedusha shmita, and now you're saying not. Or Mishani says Rava, or makra la'achla. Big yisoid here. Mishana also be rishav. La'achla means when you consume it, just like eating. How does eating work? You put food in your mouth, it's perfectly good, and you destroy it. And as you're destroying it, chewing it, you have benefit from it. You have enough. So too, anything that as you are destroying it, you're benefiting, like dye. How does dye work? As the dye goes into the clothing, you benefit. It changes colors. Whereas wood is different. Wood, when you make a barbecue, first you have to light it and make it real hot. Once it's done, once it's consumed, it becomes a coal. Then it gives off the heat. It's already consumed, sort of. So again, b'mishana also you biur shavim. It has to be that the hana and the consumption happens simultaneously. Whereas wood is different. First you consume it, then you benefit from it. As the Gemara v'Oike Eitzim, the Mishkan, there's a type of wood that you could light as is. It's like a candle. Then also shavim, you benefit as it's giving you light. At the end of the day, most wood is there to give you heat in the house, and the heat in the house is you have to first, you're not getting the heat from the initial burn, you have to make it into coal, then you get heat, long-term heat. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, a good tavach, yishkoch for having me, L'shana Abba B'Yerushalayim, everybody will see you in Eretz Yisrael, B'karoi.